Okay, for this video, I'm going to show you how to make a letter as a 3D cardboard sculpture. So the first thing you're going to do is draw out what kind of letter you want. And you have to think of it as like a block letter. If you need help, I can always print out one for you, and then we can use that to kind of cut it out and trace it on here. But otherwise, you can freehand draw it too. But if you'd like a certain like font, a certain look to your letter, let me know. I could help you with that. So for mine, I'm going to do just probably an A. I don't know. So I'm going to draw my A shape. And the reason I can just kind of freehand this is because I've done this before with practice. But if you need help making a bubble letter, what you can do, so I'm going to just use a scrap piece of paper of cardboard, is you can draw your shape. Then around it, you're going to add just like the bubble to it. And then I got to do the inside. Okay, then I would act like this isn't here when I'm painting it. Or I could erase that part. But that's going to be a way that you can make this bubble letter. And you could do it with any letter would work. Like L is an easy one, but just do a bubble around it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out. Here's where it gets kind of trickier. So for this cardboard, both sides are nice, good cardboard. But most of the times you have like a sticker on the back side. If I were to just trace this, and then I'm thinking about putting it like that, the bad side might end up being on the outside. It might not look the same. So I have to kind of think about how does this need to go, so that way when I have it, everything kind of lines up like the shapes. So I'm going to put my like bad side, which this is actually really nice, and my bad side together. Then I'm going to trace it again. Okay, then I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so now when I put my bad side and my bad side together, they should be this like similar. They should kind of line up the same. If I were to put my good side to my bad side, they're going to be a little different. So you can kind of see they're a little bit different. Okay, now I'm ready to do the sides of it. So for the sides, I'm going to be using this folder. So I have these folders that I cut up for you guys. They're all the same like thickness. So this works out really well for doing the sides. You can kind of tell this is kind of at a slant. So I'm going to make this straight first. And I'm ready to add it to this side to make like my walls of my letter. So you can do it kind of two ways. You can glue it and then just fold it and then go down. You can do it that way. That's totally fine. For this, I'm actually going to be gluing it a little bit on the inside. And I think I might just not even do my little legs here. I might just do where it's 3D just in the middle right here. It's going to be just the easiest way instead of tracing around everything, but it's still going to give it that 3D shape. So I'm just going to be gluing kind of this kind of shape in the middle. So I'm going to kind of mark out how big I want my side, make a mark, and then I'm going to cut it straight as I can. Okay, then I'm going to use my glue, put a bead of glue and stick it in there and wait for it to dry. Then I'm going to do the same thing with all my other sides of my pieces. So I'm going to kind of measure, mark it, and cut it out, and then glue it and hold it till it dries. Yeah, this cardboard, it has this like little fold here. I can decide if I want to use that or if you just want to cut it off and not use that, that's totally fine too. So I got my last piece. I'm just going to measure it, glue it, and then we're going to tape the sides. Okay, next I'm going to be using masking tape to just tape the sides together. I can use hot glue. Masking tape is pretty easy though too. So I'm going to just kind of line them up or just put the tape on half of one piece and then kind of fold it together. Put it on half. Okay. Line it up to the edges as best I can. And any extras, I can just use my scissors to cut off. Okay, now that I have this kind of shape, I'm ready to now glue on my other side of my A. So for this, if I'm doing it like a little bit smaller, like my sides are a little bit smaller, it's probably the easiest way to do it. If I did it right next to the edge, it gets a little trickier when I'm then placing this in up because you have to make sure everything is lining up perfectly. So doing it a little bit inside the shape is a little bit actually easier. So I think for this, I'm going to put the glue on, then I'm going to set it straight up on the table and then push them together. So at least I know they're going to, my A would be able to sit on the table the same height and not to like rock everywhere. So I'm going to add my glue and I'm not going to do it around the whole thing. I'm going to kind of skip around just because I need to work kind of quick so my glue doesn't dry. Right, then stick it on the table, then stick and hold them together. Okay, if I think like this is really flimsy, it's not holding on, it's gonna fall off, I can take my glue and just add some to the corner here and it'll help kind of make it a little bit stronger. Don't add too much because then it's like a waste of glue and it might end up looking sloppy. Okay, so my front of my A has this triangle. I'm gonna just try and draw it's kind of the same on the other side. That way when I'm painting, I don't forget about it. Okay, and now for like the fun part is painting it and making it look kind of whatever design you want. Just think about like, I just have an A right now, but I could do more letters and spell out my name. It would kind of look cool sitting somewhere as like a decoration.